Assalamu alaikum.
Hey.
A few Muslims, right? I'm not Muslim. Being inclusive. Hello, non-Muslims, I guess. White women, namaste. Just a quick 3-point summary of me. Firstly, my name is Josh. Josh is short for genetic reasons. Secondly, I'm Indian, but like from India, right? Like from the source, you know, where they make more of us. And then finally, this is my voice. You know, this is as much energy as you're going to get from me. So strap in. I know I'm not much of a motivational speaker or a hype man, and this voice is especially not helpful when I'm, you know, passionate. like my dirty talk is it's a bit hurtful. My dirty talk is a lot like being in a doctor's appointment. Are you comfortable? You're going to feel a little prick. Can I have a stool sample? You know the usual. Thank you for laughing. This is good levels of laughter. It's what I'm going for. Great, and thank you for leaving that one empty seat. Perfect arrangement. Like sometimes, like audiences forget like laughter is like the most important part of the comedy night, right? And they come into shows and they laugh with what I can only assume is their inside voice. So this is good. So you appreciate you guys laughing because the worst was when an audience member said "lol" out loud. She forgot she wasn't texting. I mean, don't get me wrong, big fan of texting myself. I wish I could have texted you these jokes. But I do miss the way we used to text, right? Especially in the noughties. Instead of emojis, we'd use all these acronyms instead. I feel like only LOL and maybe Lamau have survived the test of time. Right. My favorite used to be Raffle. You guys remember Raffle?
Yes.
Stood for rolling on the floor, laughing. And then I moved to England. And I feel like I lost all reason to roll on the floor and laugh. And even when I do have reason to roll on the floor and laugh, I rent in London, you know, there's just not enough floor. I'm single. Laugh at my pain. I'm also 37 years old. Like usually when I say that, white people are like, "Oh, you look young for your age," and brown people are like, "Why aren't you married yet?" Like because I don't know how much you guys know about Indian culture apart from those 200 years. It's like there's a lot of pressure to get married right from a young age, right? But I don't think marriage is for me. I don't get it as a concept. But I'm trying to have an open mind about it, you know, because sometimes you have to start the journey to understand why you're getting to the destination, right? It's pretty profound, wasn't it? Came up with it myself. Trying to have more gravitas with my brand, right? So I'm trying to say profound things because apparently comedians are modern day philosophers and I've been doing stool sample jokes, right? So I used to try dressing a bit better as well to give myself some gravitas. But then I moved to East London. And I always feel a bit overdressed over there. You know, if you don't know what East London is like, the way I describe it is, you know, sometimes you might buy a meal deal and give it to the homeless person sitting outside the shop, right? There's a 50% chance the homeless person would say, "Hey, I'm not homeless, I'm a graphic designer." You know? But there's a 100% chance they'll take the meal deal. It's the vibe of East London. So yeah, I'll try saying some profound things just to give some gravitas. Actually, what I'm trying to say is I really like the word gravitas a lot. I learned it quite recently. Northern folk might know this. You know, gravitas comes from the Latin word gravis, And gravity was already my favorite word, and then I found this. It's gravity, but it's got ass. I'm very much an ass guy. Anyway, speaking of ass, are we all happy with the outcome of the elections last year? One person who got that joke. Are we happy with the new Prime Minister that we have? Yeah. Okay, nobody cares. Cool. Explains the state of the country. Despite being on a visa, I'm allowed to vote in the elections because I'm from the Commonwealth, right? So we're allowed to vote in the elections. So I voted. Obviously, I voted for reform. I haven't gone home in a while, So flight tickets are a bit expensive. I started paying attention to UK politics when Tony Blair was the Prime Minister. I looked at him and I thought he's a proper world leader. Had all the traits of a world leader. He had this air of gravitas. Was a brilliant orator. Always had like answers to every questions. Was a full-on war criminal. Proper world leader. Right? And then I feel like prime ministers have just fallen off. We had David Cameron, a man who loved bacon a little too much. Then we had Boris Johnson. Remember Boris Johnson? I can't believe he was named after a bike. And then finally we had Rishi. He's no longer with us. God bless his soul. When he became Prime Minister, a lot of people asked me, hey, do you trust the Prime Minister now that he's Indian? I'm like, I don't trust the Indian Prime Minister in India. But say what you will about Rishi, he's living a good life. Must be nice to marry a billionaire. Like maybe that's one reason I'd get married to a billionaire, just so I can chase this dream, of becoming a communist. But I've actually been single only quite recently, since like 36, and I've been in relationships all of my life. And it's a weird age to try to start dating at this age, right? Because one is like I've never done like any of the. I don't know what the dating etiquette is. I don't really have a lot of confidence in general. I don't think I'm a very very good looking guy. Don't fight me on it. But I don't think I'm like a bad looking guy either. I feel like I'm a 6 out of 10, which is like a 7 out of 10 post Black Lives Matter movement, right? And I don't think I'm good at sex either. There was one time when I was at it and they said, don't be gentle, just go to town. I'm like, I can barely stroll to the village here. So I had to learn all of these apps, right? I had to learn. I've never done online dating before. Had to learn what Hinge is. Had to learn what Bumble is. There's even a kink dating app now. Like, have you heard of this?
Field.
Borrow my doggy? Yeah? No? Okay. No, it is called Field. Good guess. Do we all know what Field is? Okay. I'll explain. Like for those who don't know or those pretending to not know what's happening. Actually, calling it a kink dating app is doing injustice to it, right? Like Field is an app for dating people who don't follow the social norms of what a relationship should look like. Almost an anarchist point of view, right? Or it's an app for dating people who want to express a sense of sexual freedom and liberation in the form of normalizing kinks, fetishes, making it more acceptable to talk about in society, right? Basically an app for dating people who are absolutely beyond saving, right? And the etiquette of the app is everyone describes what they're into, their kinks or their unconventional styles in the form of acronyms, and they put it in their profile, like honest and upfront about it, to say this is what I'm into. I'll give you some examples. When someone says they're looking for an FWB, they're looking for friends with benefits, right? You get a friend and health insurance, right? Some people look for an ENM, which stands for ethical non-monogamy, where one of you have to be like you date multiple people at the same time. One of you have to be a project manager, right? Mine was pretty simple. I didn't really get a lot of matches. Had to get off the app. I went with my favorite acronym. I went with ROFL. I just want to find someone to roll on the floor and laugh with. And feet. I do like feet. I'll leave with this. Like in my pursuit of understanding what marriage is, I've been trying to read up and look up things. And one thing I read was it referred to the royal family a lot, and like it said, marriage is like the union of two souls. It's a public declaration of your love for one another. That's why you have big weddings. That's why you celebrate in front of your family, friends. And that's why even the royal family has such big weddings, right? And what was written after it was pretty beautiful. It was like when Prince Philip passed away, the queen died shortly after, about a space of a year or so. Some say that she died of a broken heart. She was so heartbroken, she was so devastated that she let go and she passed away herself. And I get it, I'd be pretty upset and devastated too if my cousin died. You guys have been lovely. My name is Joshua. Thank you.